Hey, what's going on, everyone? Devon Canup here, and I just wanted to record this little video. Don't really have any specific itinerary for it other than to discuss about how I've honestly quit my business many times over the past few years, and how quitting my business and quitting, I guess, the work that I'm doing has allowed me to grow substantially further, faster, and allowed me to kind of get me to the place where it's like I can work a lot less and get a lot more results. Like I said, inside of here, I don't really have any specific itinerary other than kind of just a little bit of a talking discussion as to some of the things that I've learned, some of the principles that I've been applying towards my business, and how you can maybe apply it to yourself in your life. And if you are a business owner yourself, how you can do it as well. So many times over the past few years, I've come to the realization that business sometimes is really difficult. And the reason why I'm saying that is just there's a lot of different bits and pieces and parts that you need to learn when you are building a business. And so there's things like learning how to hire people. There's things like learning how to develop and train people. There's building systems for your business. There's marketing. There's communication. There's sales. There's I own a bunch of YouTube channels, so a lot of it's like video production, how to write scripts, how to have people record a voiceover on it, and how to be a good voiceover artist. Also, like how to edit videos and how everything in between as far as production goes. And so also graphic designers, and then there's also been a management level that I've been working on over the past few years. And many times in the past few years, it's like I get very frustrated in this short-term results. And so that gets to me, I guess, emotionally or mentally sometimes. And I would just kind of almost just be like, this is stupid. I'm going to go, I guess, do something else with my life. And for, I think, maybe the first 2 or 3 years, I just went on a hardcore sprint of trying to get to the results that I'm looking, get to the point where I was making over $10,000 a month. I got past that point, and then I scaled to about $70,000 a month. And then from there, I was kind of just really in this weird, I guess, in between of a lot of things, I was getting a lot of results. I started to have other people kind of do the work for me. And then many of my businesses kind of over the years have failed. And a lot of times it's just man, this sucks. And then there's times where I would kind of quit working for, let's say, a week or two. And I would allow myself to just be and just kind of look at the alternatives. And I'm one of those people that I'm so committed into this aspect of my life of always learning, always acquiring new knowledge, and always building a business, and always hiring and training people, that it's kind of really gotten me to the point where I am so into this that it's just I don't see my life playing out any other way, shape, or form, that it doesn't allow me to have the time freedom, the freedom to kind of do whatever I want, whenever I want. And once I've kind of gotten to those points where it's I can, I've been able to do whatever I want, whenever I want. I don't have any sort of, I guess, boss telling me when I need to do things, other than maybe some the client work that we do sometimes. And through that, I've realized it's I don't want this life any other way. I just cannot imagine myself having a 9-to-5. I can't imagine myself having a regular life whatsoever. And due to that, I'm kind of just always resorted back to business. And I've always loved it. I've always a lot, if I ever find myself in a place where it's just I don't love what I do, then sometimes it's because I haven't delegated that role, or my why isn't really strong enough. And I kind of have to get back to the basics and understand why I'm doing a lot of these things. And that why has changed drastically over the past few years as well. And it's changed from, I just want to make money. I want to have the cool house, the cool cars. I want to do I want to travel and all these things, to now it's we have over 60 people working for me. And it's I need to show up so that way, I need to make sure that I am able to pay a lot of these people. I need to make sure that we can fulfill for our clients. I need to make sure that that business is always growing, so we can give more opportunities to others, as well as I want to do things for my family. I want to do things for my parents. I want to do things with my friends. I want to be friends with certain people. And that's been another thing that's kind of always brought me back to business as well. I kind of ditched all the friends that I used to have in, let's say, high school and college, and I don't communicate with too many of them too often anymore. Maybe I talk to a few of them here and there fairly irregularly. But my life has been just surrounded by a bunch of people that do things for themselves, all business owners, people that live lives of kind of their dreams. And having these people all as friends has always brought me back to business as well. So that's one piece of advice that I would really definitely give you is like, try to surround yourself with other people that are like-minded and are getting to the same destination that you are yourself, or want to live a similar life as you have. Because I think those people hold you accountable in a way that's not just like, they're like, hey, did you make this call today? Or did you like, do this accounting thing? Or did you do this little, did you send this agreement out to this agreement or this prospect or something like that? It's not necessarily like kind of that aspect, but it's like, I see my friends all doing cool stuff all the time. And it's like with that, and they're always talking about business and they're always talking about these things. And so in order for me to maintain my friendship or my relationship with these people, then I need to be doing business. I need to be kind of like in the same talks as them. I need to be watching the same content. I need to always be doing different things with my business and always growing and always learning and kind of providing value on that aspect. And so it's like we have this, I think like this tribal instinctual habit to where we want to satisfy our friends as well as like we want to satisfy our mentors. And because of that, because I've put myself in this position where all my friends are successful, I've had many mentors that have given me advice when maybe they shouldn't have, where they didn't, I guess, need to. And since they've given me this advice or I've been put into these environments, I feel like I need to prove everyone, like I need to get these, like a certain result, like I need to become successful, or else I feel like I'm wasting their time, which honestly, I think that's been one of the things that's kind of helped me always consistently keep growing. It's like, I want to make sure that these people are satisfied with the help and advice that they've given me. And I feel like I want to be in these circles. I don't want to be friends with average or mediocre people. I want to be friends and talk regularly to people that are all doing something for themselves. And so I kind of switched everything over to that aspect more than I guess just explicitly like the intrinsic value of I guess the hedonistic treadmill that everyone kind of gets on. It's like very, I think, silly to go and spend tons of money on designer clothes, go buy cars that just like for no sort of reason other than maybe if you have some sort of business reason behind that. And I've done all of these things, and all that stuff doesn't like it becomes normal to you after like not even a day. For me personally, like I bought this supercar, this Mercedes, and after having it for like even like I think 15 minutes, I was like, okay, cool, now what? I was like looking for some sort of like crazy like feeling that I get from it. And there wasn't any sort of, I guess, immediate effect from it. Yeah, it's cool. You get to pull up the valet and you have all these people that are like, oh my gosh, who's that? And it just like people treat you so much differently when you have like a nicer car. You have random people coming up to you that are like showing their best sides of themselves a lot of times to communicate with you. And it's like allowed me to do a lot of networking with having this car and then having it for content. And then it's allowed me to like get certain types of clients that I probably normally wouldn't have if I didn't have the car that I have or the lifestyle that I have. But at the end of the day, I guess like internally, it all becomes normal to you. And it's like your normal gets stretched further and further and further to where it's just like everything just eventually becomes normal. It's like whatever that new car is or that new clothes is kind of been my experience. But that's why I've kind of also had like a change of perspective or like my philosophy in business. So it was like a lot of it, my philosophy in business was to make money and have these cool things. So that way I could feel a certain way. And once I've gotten to that point where it's like I've had those things, it's like I don't really necessarily feel any specific sort of different. Other than like I go and travel for let's say a week or 2 or 3 weeks and I come back and I'm like, oh hell yeah, I get to drive my car. That's maybe I guess the best feeling of like owning the car is just like I get to miss it. Because if you do spend too much time with something, even though, let's say it's a beautiful girl, if you spend all this time with a beautiful girl, you're like, oh, okay, this becomes normal and mundane and kind of dreary. Versus like if you don't see her for a week or 2 weeks and you guys get to miss each other, it's like that much more entertaining or engaging, or it's just like you just feel that much more, and your attraction for it grows more and more. So all this to say that like I have tried, like I've done business for a while. It has become my lifestyle. It's become my norm. And I forget a lot of the luxuries that I have in my life. And I think a lot of that stems from kind of just like giving up, you know, kind of like just being okay with giving up. But the thing is I never give up actually. It's like I allow myself to like feel defeated sometimes. It's not like I have to be perfect all the time. And when I come back to the thing, you know, the business, and I'm like, it's getting harder and harder to just like want to quit, because it's like maybe I have a rough day, maybe like some things don't happen the way that I want it to go. There's always another new day, you know? So if I'm like not feeling it for a certain day, it's just like I allow myself to just be like, okay, let me just try to figure this out. Let me figure out what's up with Devon. I usually love to watch a bunch of different entrepreneurs. I talk to some of my mentors. I hang out with my friends that are all business driven and are successful business owners. And when I spend a day with them, it's just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go back to my business and apply this new thing. It's just like, also now it's at a point, since we have so many leaders that we built into my company, it's like I don't really necessarily need to be there for majority of the work. I think it's getting down to a point where it's like I need to focus on like 10% of the work. And that's just kind of like making sure that we're consistently bringing in new business. We're consistently getting results on the fulfillment aspect. And when I just kind of focus on these few things, it's like stuff happens every single day. Like people are like, hey, yeah, we got this new client, we got like this new thing going on, and we hired like 5 more people. I'm like, awesome. There's just always something happening every day. And it's like I wake up out of bed just ready to go and just excited for the day, because there's like new stuff happening and there's change that's always happening. This is kind of like I said, maybe more or less like kind of like a diary or a journal log for just as a video content. This isn't explicitly like me trying to give advice to you guys. It's just me explaining kind of my current point in life and kind of how I've quit multiple times. And I always come back to business. And I actually haven't switched my business industry in like 3 or 4 years, 4 years, I think. And I've been doing business for 5. So it's not like I've ever necessarily fully changed directions and gone a completely different direction. I've just always loved doing YouTube. I've always loved building YouTube channels. I've always loved helping other people build YouTube channels. I love talking about YouTube. I love helping other people get into business and become business owners. Those are kind of my things. And I've really enjoyed working with awesome people. Like if I don't work with awesome people, then that's part of the reason why I've maybe quit in the past too sometimes. Like I just look at my team and I'm just like, oh man, I feel like this is such a waste of time almost. Like it's like if I invest in myself into these people, it's going nowhere. You know, like I get somebody that's like super successful on TikTok with 4 million followers to talk to my team, and they don't do anything with the information I give them, and it takes them like a month to apply it. And so those were times where it would make me feel kind of like, I guess, depressed, I guess, as like an emotion, or anxious, or fearful, or just burnt out. Versus like now that I have like amazing people on my team, it's just like they apply what happens immediately. They're actually innovators. They're bringing the ideas to the business and helping it grow. And it's just my job to make sure that that they are in love with the company and the culture that they're working in, which I love doing. That's really simple for me versus like maybe other people. It's like one of my favorite parts is how do I bring a bunch of cool people together in a room and let them kind of all thrive together. I love doing that. So that kind of really works out. And then also one of my other passions is like trying to build cool stuff, you know? And so with those 2 passions, I think I've gotten very lucky, I would say, as far as like how life goes, is like the 2 things that I love the most, like the few things that I love more than anything, and gaining knowledge and running businesses, are also one of the most highly rewarding and highly paying careers out there. So I guess I kind of got lucky in those fields. And there's other people that work for me that just love what they do. You know, they love kind of being given a direction, but they love kind of like having this framework and then getting the maximum results with that framework that they are given, which is awesome. You know, it's like I think there's always those aspects in a company, you know. I don't think there's always the need for new businesses to be out there. I think there's plenty of businesses out there that can be substantially bigger than they already are. So I don't think necessarily a lot of people need to create new businesses, but I think there is a huge desire or a huge need in the market of more entrepreneurs. Because I think for a while, I think it was so cool to be like an entrepreneur. And I think there still is kind of that aspect of it where it's like super cool to be an entrepreneur. But I think that's not always the most fun job in the world, I'll be honest. It's like you have a lot of responsibility. There's a lot of weight on your shoulders. There's always these people that are like there's so many things that are like, it's your responsibility. If it doesn't work out, you're the one that's responsible for it, you know? Like if something happens in my team and somebody does something, I'm the one that's responsible for it, not them, you know, because I'm the one that brought them in. So I don't think like being a full-blown entrepreneur is for necessarily everybody, but entrepreneurs are always like a must need and a must have in like a growing economy and growing businesses, especially startups. And leadership is one of those things that like helps really grow a business. So one of my thing is finding people that are like thought they were kind of wanting to be entrepreneurs, but they really just like have a tough time with being an entrepreneur because they don't have that community aspect. They don't have kind of like, they're not surrounded by people that are all pushing each other to try to get to the new stage and the new level. And so my favorite thing is to find entrepreneurs that kind of like have been there, done that. They've had success with it and they have been successful, but they really want to be a part of something that's going to be way bigger than them and on the journey to like being able to do really huge things. Because what it allows them to do is just be really good at their job. They get to help accomplish this big, huge vision. And from there as well, they get to be surrounded by a bunch of people that are on the same journey as them. And they can almost build whatever they want underneath them as like an entrepreneur, you know. It's what you see as a lot of like executive members in like a company, you know. And so that's kind of like, I guess I'm kind of just like speaking out of my ass a little bit here in this video, but I just wanted to get some things off my chest. I wanted to get more videos out and I just had a tough time. So it's just like, I wanted to record things that are gonna provide value and kind of get the needle, I guess those creative juices flowing for content. And just post it and kind of not give a fuck on the results, but more or less just use it as like a journal diary, I guess, is a journal log as far as like my aspect in business and everything like that. So anyways, my name is Devon Canup. You should like and subscribe to this video, and like and subscribe to this channel, like the video, and go watch future content. I'm just out here, young business entrepreneur that has, I've been doing business for a good amount of time now, has had many failures, many successes along the way as well. My company currently does over 7 figures a month, and I'm trying to scale it to over 8 figures right now currently. So this is kind of a log in my journey of doing that. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot of different things about business, and I'm super excited to kind of like release some of that stuff that I wish I would have known back in, let's say 3 to 4 years ago, before I started into this business, and advice that I wish I had before then. So anyways, that's what I got for you guys. I have nothing to tell you in this video. I'm just kind of here to give you guys advice, and those are some of the things that I've learned on my journey. So anyways, we'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.